So we're going to pause for a minute.
Load. I know we're going though.
We'll give everyone just a minute.
There we go.
Alrighty.
We're good.
Okay. I didn't know it's on.
Yep.
Okay, we got 2 people. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to O'Fallon. It's a special edition because Kinsey and I are both talking today. So again, O'Fallon Clinic in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm Ashley McFadden. I am the clinic manager here, and
I'm Kinsey. I'm the physical therapist here.
So we have a lot to discuss today. We're just going to go in more of a general, try not to dive too deep into each discussion point. But our discussion points for today, so we're going to start with proper hydration techniques. So Kinsey will discuss a little bit about hydration, and then I am going to talk about warm-up prior to exercise and its importance. And then we're going to go down into cool down and the benefits for appropriate recovery. So here we go. We're going to get started with hydration.
Okay, so hydration, it's very important for athletes for sure, but even if you're, going out and doing yard work or going out and doing housework or anything like that, it's often overlooked as an important part of daily life. People go through the day without even drinking water at all. So it's often overlooked, but it's very, very important for, normal body function. A couple of things that proper hydration does, it regulates body temperature. So whenever you work out or you walk, your body's ability to regulate temperature is often decided by how much water you are. So if you don't have water, if you're dehydrated, your body loses that ability to sweat and cool down your muscles. It also lubricates your joints. So if you're moving a lot, if you're lifting weights or you're walking or you're running, it lubricates your joints. It helps them move easily, keeps them from getting stiff. It prevents infections. It delivers nutrients to your cells, the important nutrients in order to get them to contract better, to give you that good muscle contraction or proper healing of muscles after exercises. It gets that good nutrients to the cells, delivers oxygen to the muscles, and it keeps organs functioning properly as well, which in general you want your organs to function well, but especially when you're doing intense workouts or walking or yard work, you want everything to be functioning properly, and water is a very important part of that. If you're dehydrated, you'll have your muscles will fatigue quicker because it's not getting those nutrients to the cell. It's not getting the oxygen to the cell. It reduces your coordination, so you're not moving as much. It increases muscle cramps, so you'll get muscle cramps more often in your calf, like Charlie horses is what a lot of people call them. And like I said before, it decreases your body's ability to cool itself. So it won't be able to cool itself. So especially now in the summer when it's really hot and you're outside, you want your body to be able to regulate temperature and cool itself down. Otherwise, you're more at risk of getting heat stroke, overheating, those heat illnesses that everyone is trying to avoid. A lot of people want to know how much water you need to drink. So how much water do I need to drink a day? It often depends on how hot it is outside, the weather outside, what you're doing, how intense your exercise is, how long you're exercising for, what clothes you wear. It has a little bit of factors in there, but there's an equation you can kind of do to help you calculate around how much ounces you should be drinking a day. So I'll kind of explain how you calculate it, and then I'll give you 2 examples of how I calculate it. So you take your body weight and you times it by 2/3, and that gives you your normal intake per ounces a day. So if I weigh 150, I times it, or 140, I times it by 2/3, and then I get 93, and then you add 12 ounces per 30-minute workout. So I would take my body weight, times it by 2/3, and then if I work out for 30 minutes, I'm going to add 12 ounces onto that. Or if Ashley over here, if she takes her body weight, times it by 2/3, and then she works out for 60 minutes, you're going to add 24 ounces to that total. So you can kind of factor in what your workout is, and it counts as a workout, or it even counts as a yard work. If you're going to do 30 minutes of yard work, add 12 ounces to whatever that total is. And that gives you a good idea of general how much water to drink. Obviously, if you're sweating more, you kind of want to add some water to that total, but that's a good general total to go by every day of how much ounces you want to drink. And then other ways to know if you're dehydrated, usually they say if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So don't go by if you're thirsty. If you're thirsty, you're already not drinking enough water. So you should never, the goal throughout the day is to never be thirsty. And another way to monitor your hydration is your urine color. So if you look at your urine, if it's a pale color or a clear color, you're pretty good, you're hydrated. If it's more dark, then you're not drinking enough water. So that's a quick way to kind of tell if your body's hydrated or not. A lot of people wonder whether they should drink water or sports drink. That's another thing. It kind of depends on how long you work out for. If you're only working out for, say, 30 minutes to an hour, generally water is good to kind of rehydrate yourself. If you're working out for 1 to 1.5 hours, you kind of want to add some electrolytes. So like a Propel, or there's a lot of different brands, but something like that to get some electrolytes in there. If you're working out for closer to 2 hours, you're going to want a drink that's electrolytes and carbohydrates. So that's like a Gatorade or drinks like that. And if you're working out for more than 2 hours, you're going to want to do water. You're going to want to do a Gatorade. You're also going to want to get a snack in there too. It's not just water that's going to help get the nutrients back in your body. You're going to have to add a couple things to it.
All right, thank you, Kinsey. So now we're going to go into the warm-up component. So our main discussion point here was hydration, and now we're going to briefly hit on warm-up. So research we know has been a little inconsistent if static stretching is actually how beneficial it is before exercise, but there's evidence that supports lighter activity before your exercise, definitely helps to prevent injury and prepares your body for that optimal performance. So warm-up has several benefits. So the benefits of the warm-up are increasing your body temperature and your blood flow for your muscles. It enhances that muscle elasticity and also lubricates the joints. It's going to increase your heart rate and your respiratory rate, which we want to prepare your body for the demands of your workout. It enhances coordination and motor ability in order to prepare our nervous system for the workout. And then dynamic stretching is going to help prepare us for that sports-specific exercise component versus the static stretching. And so our warm-up is it's going to consist of two components. One component is going to be the cardio phase, and the second component is going to be the performance phase. So the cardio phase, I like to tell an individual that can last anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes of just a light jog, just a low intensity cardio, or they can hop on the bike even for a couple minutes. But the main thing is that they're moving. So again, light intensity. And then the performance phase can be more sports specific. So we can incorporate the dynamic stretching here. And always it's a good idea to get these suggestions from a physical therapist or an athletic training to make the most out of the sports specific performance phase. So the intensity of your warm up, again, it's going to be nothing that's higher as your body. So we want to prepare you for exercise, but we don't want you to get worn out or fatigued by this warm up by any means. If you're going to do a higher activity, like you're a higher level athlete, then we're going to want to increase you to a higher intensity exercise at the end of the warm-up than someone that's just preparing for a light couple mile jog. So in regards to the dynamic warm-ups, you good? I like dynamic stretches anywhere from 5 to 10 stretches. So we have a group of exercises or stretches that we're going to show you that are just suggestions. I like to make the dynamic stretching more specific to the athlete. So if it's someone I'm treating, a track and field athlete, I'm going to make it specific to them versus if I'm treating someone for an upper extremity injury, then of course I'm going to incorporate more upper body movements. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and go into the importance of the cool down phase. So again, main things of warm up are better to prepare you better for your exercise. So for that optimal performance And then most importantly, we want to prevent injury. We see so many athletes in the clinic that they tell me their teams are not warming up at all. And so we stress to them the importance, and then also encourage them to go encourage their whole team to incorporate that warm up so we can keep the whole team healthy. So Kinsey is going to hit on cool down a little bit, and then we will go into a couple suggestions for dynamic stretching.
Okay, so the cool down, just as important as the warm up, just another component. As warm up gets you ready for the exercise, for the workout. It warms your muscles up. It gets your heart rate going. It prepares you for the exercise. The cool down is the opposite. So cool down, the goal is to kind of regulate everything, slow everything down, rework your muscles. That way you don't go from intense workout to just nothing. It also helps you delay that muscle soreness you get the next day, the second day. It helps delay that or make you not as sore because it helps kind of relax those muscles gradually rather than just a complete stop. It's, again, she said the warm up, ideally about 10 minutes or so. Cool down can be the same, about 5 minutes or so of kind of a cardio phase, slowing down the cardio version, and then a 5-minute phase of static stretching. So warm up, you're going to want a dynamic stretch. You're going to move and stretch. You're going to get everything going. Static stretching for cool down, you're going to kind of slow down. That's the one where you're going to hold, just a positional stretch. And like she's going to show you some dynamic warm-ups at the end, I'm going to show you some static cool down stretches at the end as well, just some suggestions. So cool down, the goal of cool down is allow the heart rate to regulate. So it gets back down to your normal heart rate. It slows down your breathing. It kind of gets you breathing normal. It promotes relaxation after your intense workout or your walk or your run. It prevents blood from pooling in the legs by contracting the muscles when you stretch. And it allows the blood to kind of get pumped back into your heart in order to delay that muscle soreness like I was talking about earlier. And like the warm up, the cool down also depends on what workout you're doing. So you want to kind of adjust your cool down based on the warm up or based on your exercise. So if you're running, you're going to want to cool down by doing a little bit of a walk. So you go down to a little bit of a jog and then you for a minute or two, then you go down to a nice brisk walk for a minute or two. If you're lifting weights, you're going to want to, rather than going on a walk because you didn't run, you're going to want to stretch those joints that you just worked out. So if you did an arm workout or a chest workout or a back workout, you're going to want to stretch the arms. You're going to want to stretch the chest. You're going to want to stretch the back. If you're doing a leg lift routine, you're going to want to do some static stretching for your legs. So you don't always have to walk to cool down. If you're running, doing a sport, it's always good to incorporate that cardio version of it. So you're kind of going down to a light jog, going down to a brisk walk. But if you're just doing a lift, it's important to at least stretch as a cool down afterwards, because that's definitely the most important thing it's going to do is it's going to keep you from getting sore that first day, especially that second day. That's the day that you're most, that delayed onset muscle soreness that it's going to avoid. So there's a couple of exercises that I'm going to show you, just like Ashley is, for the cool down as well. So I'm going to move the computer out here so we have more room to do the dynamic stretch and the static stretching. No. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of stretches out here for the cool down. And again, there's a bunch of stretches. I would be here all day if I was going to show you all the stretches, but I'll show you a couple kind of for each muscle. So I'll show you one for the arm, one for the shoulder, a couple for the legs. Just kind of go through some simple stretching for mostly lower extremity, because a lot of the exercises people are doing now is yard work, going on walks around their neighborhood, different things like that. So I'll do more leg stuff, but I'll also throw in some arm stuff. So first one you can do, it kind of stretches right here. So you're just kind of pulling it back like this. And it's kind of stretching the triceps. And for all the static stretches, you're going to want to hold for 30 seconds and do it about 3 or 4 times. And you're going to kind of pull to a point where you feel a good stretch, but you never want to pull to a point where it's painful. So kind of right there, I feel that stretch. I'm going to hold 30 seconds and then I'll do it 3 or 4 times. Another one you could do is stretching that bicep. So this is if you were to do an arm workout. These are a couple things you could do to cool down. You can use a wall here. You could do it standing, and you're just kind of here. You could use a doorway, and you're just kind of stretching out, and you'll kind of feel it right here in that bicep. Just kind of stretching out. Again, holding for about 30 seconds, 3 times. And a couple of leg stretches here. good hamstring stretch. Kind of pulling here, so you're going to stretch that right leg, have your leg here, and you're just going to try to touch your toes here. I'm a little tight. I should probably do these more often. And again, you're going to hold 30 seconds 3 times, and then you can switch legs. So the leg that's straight is the one you're stretching, and you're coming down here. This is going to be the hamstring, so the back of your thigh. Another good stretch is the quad muscle, so the front of your thigh. So here, you can kind of hold on to a wall or a table or, you know, whatever. You're going to grab your quad here, and you're just going to go like this, and you're going to stretch it out. And you'll feel it kind of all along there. You want to make sure you don't tweak your knee out to the either side. You want it straight back. And feeling it right there. You don't want to feel it in your knee, just in the muscle. Same thing, hold about 30 seconds, and we'll do the other side. You can hold on to a table too. If you have really good balance, you don't have to hold on. Another one you could do is hip flexor stretch, so hips right here. So this one, you're going to kneel forward. I'll put it out here so you can see what my legs are doing. So you're going to go forward here. Your back leg is the one you're stretching. You're keeping your back leg straight, and your knees, your front knee is going to bend forward. So you want to make sure you're not, you know, bending forward like this or really arching your back. You want to stay completely straight. And just stretch there, and it's going to stretch that front here. 30 seconds 3 times. You could also do this one kneeling if you have a foam pad or a pillow. You can kneel down. Do the same thing. I'm kneeling, and I'm just coming forward like this if that's more comfortable for people too. Sometimes you get a better stretch doing that if you can get up and down off the floor easily, and if you don't have any pain kneeling on that knee, this is another way you could do it. Another good one to do is a calf stretch, so you can steal a wall. Little corner wall. Bring your foot up here. Let's see if you can see it. Yep, and then just kind of push forward. You're going to feel that stretching the lower back of your leg. Another way you can do that one, I don't have a step handy, but you can kind of hang off a step too in order to stretch that calf. I got one more. And then another one you could do, this one's laying down, to kind of stretch your butt muscle. Bend here, you're holding at your ankle and your knee, and you're pulling towards your opposite shoulder. So just like this. So if you have any knee problems or knee pain, a lot of times this one will be a little painful because you're kind of twerking your knee a little bit. So if you have any knee pain, I would kind of avoid that one, but that's another one to do as long as you don't have pain with it, as long as you just feel it in your butt, not your knee or your groin area.
All right, I'm back, guys. So Kinsey's going to get her workout and show us a couple dynamic stretches that we're going to start with the lower intensity dynamic stretching. So we'll do an inchworm first.
All right, getting ready. I'm going to show, I already showed how tight I was in my hamstrings, so I'll show it again.
Good. So we're starting with an inchworm. And then next, so that's going to actively stretch the hamstrings in the back. And then next, she's going to go into some high knees. High knees, good. We'll stretch those glutes out. And then we'll do some butt kicks. Stretch the quads out. We'll do some heel toe walking. So stretching the calf and the shin out. Good job, Kins. Keep it up. Then she'll get into some lunges. So let's challenge you to do some backwards lunging. And reach to get the hip flexors. Good.
I definitely feel the stretch.
Awesome. And then we'll do some heel grabs to get the piriformis more. And then she can even go up on her toes to make it harder.
Let's try that again. Do it on my other leg.
And then I would have the individual get in, if they're going to a higher level performance exercise, I'd get them into quicker activities. So doing grapevines or side shuffles. Go for it, Kins. We got a college athlete here. She's used to these.
Or karaoke.
And then we'd get into some skips. Oh, get up there, Kins. Good. And we could go for both height and distance with those skips. So again, with the warm-up, it's important that we get the cardio component, and then we're moving into the the actual performance phase, and we can make that specific for the individual. But today we just gave you some general ideas of the importance of the warm-up, that you actually have a warm-up prior to your exercise so you can have that optimal performance and you can prevent injury. So we hope that this information was really beneficial. We have so much more that we could share, but we just wanted to give you a general component today. Please comment if you have any questions. We'd love to shoot out suggestions. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And we look forward to seeing you again on Facebook Live soon. Bye guys.